Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet Nastraprayeshu Vapatreshu Nityam Bhagavati Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 8. Dhruv Maharaj leaves home for the forest. Text 24. Text 24. The great sage Maitreya continued. The instructions of Dhruv Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with the intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. Text 25. The great sage Narada overheard this news and understanding all the activities of Dhruv Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruv and touching the boy's head with all vigorous hand, he spoke as follows. Text 26. How wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas! They cannot tolerate even a slight infringement upon their prestige. Just imagine, this boy is only a small child, yet harsh words from his stepmother proved unbearable to him. Text 27. The great sage Narada told Dhruv, my dear boy, you are only a little boy whose attachment is to the sports and other frivolity. Why are you so affected by the words insulting your honor? Text 28. My dear Dhruv, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of the illusionary energy. Even living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are the different varieties of life for enjoying or suffering. Text 29. The process of Supreme Personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One who is intelligent should accept that process and be satisfied with whatever comes, favorable or unfavorable, by his supreme will. Text 30th. Now you have decided to undertake the mystic process of meditation under the instructions of your mother, just to achieve the mercy of the Lord. But in my opinion, just austerities are not possible for any ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Text 31. Narada Muni continued. After trying this process for many, many births and remaining unattached to the material contamination, placing themselves continually in the trance and executing many types of austerities, many mystic yogis were able to find the end of the path of God realization. 632. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better that you go home. When you are grown up by the mercy of the Lord, you will get a chance for these mystic performance. At that time, you may execute this function. X33. One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether distress or happiness, which is offered by the Supreme Will. A person who endeavors in this way is able to cross over the darkness of nescience very easily. Text 34. Every man should act like this. When he meets a person more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. When he meets someone less qualified than himself, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone equal to him, he should make friendship with him. In this way, one is never affected by threefold miseries of this material world. Thank you so much, dear devotees. And Vamshidhar Prabhuji, you can please take over. Prabhuji, I'll make you co-host. You can, if you want to share, you can share the screen, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. I'll quickly offer prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshvabhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टकी ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरान्तस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वतीदेवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधार श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे राम राम हरे Hare Krishna. I don't have anything to share, but okay, let me share my screen. Hare Krishna. So we are continuing to study Srimad Bhagavatam. In chapter 8, text 24, fourth canto. Now Sage Maitreya he is narrating this pastime to Vidura. And we are at the stage where he is mentioned in the previous verse. Just to give a recap, that Suniti, Dhruva's mother, after Dhruva has been chastised or insulted by his stepmother, Dhruva's mother is instructing him that I do not find anyone who can mitigate your distress but Krishna. And she is giving descriptions of how Krishna looks. Many demigods, such as Lord Brahma, seek the pleasure of the goddess of fortune, but the goddess of fortune herself, with a lotus flower in her hand, is always ready to render service to Krishna. So, in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srila Prabhupada actually mentions who is a true mother. A mother is one who will not want to have his or her son or daughter with herself for selfish desires, but will do anything to make that child Krishna conscious. That is true mother. And Suniti is representing such a mother where she is not, oh, Dhruva, by the way, he is just a 5-year-old boy. And she is not saying, oh, Dhruva, you're so young, you cannot go out to the forest, what will you do for food? Which goes to show that Suniti herself was such a surrendered devotee. She had so much faith that if her boy goes and searches out for Krishna, Krishna will do all out for that boy to bring him closer to him. There is a sign of a pure devotee. All the historical characters that we see in Srimad Bhagavatam, they are all unalloyed devotees of Krishna. We should not think that Suniti is an ordinary woman here. Otherwise, her speech will not have the potency. Because a sentimental mother, if she speaks to her child, the child may not take it seriously. But Suniti had so much devotion in her heart. Dhruva, because also he was a Kshatriya, he took it to his heart. And in text 24, Sage Maitreya is mentioning the instruction of Dhruva Maharaj's mother, Suniti, was actually meant for fulfilling his desired objective. Therefore, after deliberate consideration and with intelligence and fixed determination, he left his father's house. So Prabhupada writes in the purport, mere lamentation is useless. One should find out the means to mitigate one's lamentation. Whether we are practicing bhakti or we are not practicing bhakti, everyone has to undergo suffering in this world. It is inevitable. But when suffering comes, we need to find a way to get out of that suffering. We should not get bogged down from that suffering. And Prabhupada will give the solution also on this purport. That's the mercy of Srila Prabhupada. Thus, both mother and son decided to take shelter of the lotus feet of Krishna because that is the only solution to all material problems. Right? We always try to find solutions for all the problems in this world by trying out means by our own ways. Oh, if I go to this place, I'll be peaceful. If I get this much money, I will be peaceful. If I have this much bank balance, then I will be peaceful. Then I can practice bhakti. No, bhakti is not like that. Later, Prabhupada will write in one of the purports that it is not that we have to wait for some situation for us to surrender to Krishna. That situation will never come in our life. Never. So that is why Prahlad Maharaj instructs Kaumara Acharet Prajnyo Dharman Bhagavatam Iha Durlabam Manusham Janma Tad Api Adruvam Arthadam. So one has to take the Krishna consciousness when one is very young. If he or she is fortunate to be exposed to Krishna consciousness, one has to take it with all happiness and enthusiasm. Then Prabhupada writes in the purport, it is the instruction of Prahlad Maharaj that if one is seeking peace of mind, he should free himself from all contamination of family life and take shelter of the Supreme Personality of Godhead by going to the forest. And what is that forest? To the Gaudiya Vaishnavas, this forest is the forest of Vrinda or Vrindavan. If one takes shelter of Vrindavan, under whom? Vrinda is where? What is Vrindavan? Vrindavan is the property of Srimati Radharani, and Prabhupada is writing that. Certainly, all problems of his life are solved very easily. It is said by our acharyas, yes, Srimati Radharani is very merciful. But the same Srimati Radharani and Krishna combined together, they have come in the form of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Non-different. And we will understand this when we hear from the devotees who love Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he is non-different from Srimati Radharani and Krishna. And he gives the same mitigation of the problems in our life. Yesterday was Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's appearance day, and today his father, just like how when Krishna was born, everyone celebrates Janmashtami. The next day is Nandotsav, where Nanda Maharaj actually goes and celebrates and gives a lot of charity to all the Brahmanas in where he was staying. Similarly, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's father, Jagannath Mishra, also celebrates. And today is that day where he celebrates his son's appearance. So in text 25, the great sage Narada overheard this news of Dhruva Maharaj being instructed by Suniti. Understanding all the activities of Dhruva Maharaj, he was struck with wonder. He approached Dhruva and touching the boy's head with his all virtuous hand, he spoke as follows. Now Prabhupada raises a very interesting question. Okay, question may be raised, how Narada overheard all these topics? The answer is that Narada is Trikala Yajna. He is so powerful that he can understand past, present, and future. Krishna can understand past, present, and future, he says in Bhagavad Gita. But by his will, even his pure devotees can know past, present, and future. Therefore, understanding the strong determination of Dhruva Maharaj, Narad Muni came to help him. And Prabhupada raises a very important point for us to always remember It may be explained in this way. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is present in everyone's heart. And as soon as he understands that the living entity is serious about bhakti, he sends his representative. So, for some of us who have surrendered to a guru, or for some of us who are earning to surrender to a guru, it is Krishna who sends guru in our life. It is not that I find somebody very interesting. And yes, there's definitely both ways. Prabhupada also writes that a devotee has to seek for some sadhu in his or her own life. But it is Krishna who sends that sadhu in his or own life according to that devotee's uh, taste of attraction towards Krishna. So that is why after we take shelter under a guru, we should not go here and there. Because it is Krishna who has sent that person to us. It is a very serious business. It is not that, oh, let me try to go and get some taste from somewhere else. No, all the taste is available from the person whom Krishna has given us. Everything is available because it is the representative. Guru is a representative of Krishna. All the potencies that disciple has to get is being given to that representative whom Krishna has sent. So we don't have to go here and there. Of course, it doesn't mean that I have to restrain from hearing from other sadhus. No, it is not like that. It is just that we have to be chaste and loyal to the guru that Krishna has sent to us first before trying to hear from other sadhus. Because if I think, oh, my guru is not giving me that much, let me go and hear to somebody else. That is not a good, that is like disrespecting Krishna because he is the one who has sent that person in our life. So we have to be very careful. That is why Srila Prabhupada is writing, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Beach. By the grace of the spiritual master and Krishna, one can enter into bhakti. We can be on the threshold of bhakti, but we cannot enter into true bhakti. Because of Dhruva Maharaj's determination, Krishna, the super soul, immediately sent his representative, Srila Prabhupada is writing. And text 26, how wonderful are the powerful Kshatriyas. They cannot tolerate even slight infringement. The qualifications of Kshatriya are mentioned in the purport. Prabhupada writes, they do not flee from the battle and they have a sense of prestige in them. And these are the qualities of Kshatriya. So Prabhupada writes, so that is why we have to inculcate good culture among children because they look up to the parents. Whatever qualifications or qualities we acquire, like for example, we want to acquire some good qualities like peacefulness, tolerance, etc. We have to somehow practice as an austerity, like Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita, that austerity of body, mind, and speech. These are the qualities of Brahmanas. And we have to cultivate those qualities. These are not easy, but it is an austerity. Austerity of speech is an austerity. To not speak in a way that is agitating to others, it is an austerity, but we have to practice. So all these things are inherited by the children in the family because the family practices according to the Varnashram Dharma. And Prabhupada writes, if the family doesn't practice according to this Varnashram Dharma, then one is immediately degraded to lower standard of life. And Arjuna laments in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita for not killing, for not fighting, giving reasons for not fighting the war. He says this will result in Varna Sankara. Because if the family is not brought up properly and if the men are killed, then women cannot raise children alone by themselves easily. So the children become totally irreligious. That's called Varna Sankara. Text 27, the great sage Narada told Dhruva Maharaj, my dear boy, you're very little boy whose attachment is to sport and to other frivolities. Why are you affected by words insulting by your honor? So now Prabhupada writes very interesting points. He writes, ordinarily, if a child is rebuked by somebody, he smiles and does not take insulting words very seriously. Similarly, if words of honor are offered, he does not appreciate them because children, what 5-year-old children will know what is good, what is bad. They take everything very playfully. But in the case of Dhruva Maharaj, the Kshatriya spirit was so strong that he could not tolerate even a slight insult from his stepmother, which injured his Kshatriya prestige. Because Kshatriyas generally have, Bhagavad Gita explains, Kshatriya means they have a lot of predominance of Rajaguna. They have a little bit of Sattva also, but predominantly Rajaguna is prominent. So if somebody insults a Kshatriya, they cannot bear it. So Dhruva Maharaj couldn't bear it. But Narada Muni is saying, you're such a small boy. Why are you doing? Why have you come to forest? This is not for you. You just go to your back to your kingdom and you play. Because that's what you need to do for your age. And he's continuing to instruct. My dear Dhruva, if you feel that your sense of honor has been insulted, you still have no cause for dissatisfaction. This kind of dissatisfaction is another feature of Maya, illusory energy. Every living entity is controlled by his previous actions, and therefore there are different varieties of enjoying and suffering. Prabhupada writes the living entity gets different types of material bodies because of his previous fruitive actions. So, even when in this life, when a devotee undergoes suffering and enjoyment, it is because of our actions. Krishna explains in Bhagavad Gita, Karanam guna sangasya sat asat yoni janmashu. It is because of our own actions we are entangled in different modes of material nature. Karanam guna sangasya, guna, because of our own actions. And then Prabhupada writes in the purport that Narada Muni first of all wanted to impress upon Dhruva Maharaj that he was only a child. He should not have been affected by insults of honor. And if he were so developed to understand honor and insult, then this understanding should have been applied in his own life. Hmm? He should have known that honor and dishonor are both destined by one's previous actions. Therefore, one should not be very sorry or happy under any circumstance. At a conditioned stage, we cannot understand this, but this is what Narada Muni is instructing us, which is what Krishna also instructs in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Matra sparsashu kaunteya sitoshna sukha dukkhada. That this happiness and distress, oh, now it is going to be spring, then it will go to be winter again, summer again, and then winter again. All these season of changes keeps coming. Similarly, happiness and distress keeps coming, even in a devotee's life. But we should not take it seriously. So he's saying, why you are taking it so seriously? The process of, in next verse, the process of the Supreme Personality of Godhead is very wonderful. One whose intelligence should accept that process, be satisfied with whatever comes favorable or unfavorable by the Supreme Will. So once we become a devotee, whatever comes on our way, whatever is favorable and unfavorable, we should be happy. One who is a devotee especially accepts all reverses as gifts of Krishna. This is practical application for us. Tattenu kampam susamikshamano. Prabhupada often quotes this verse from the 10th canto, that when a devotee is practicing bhakti, there will be impediments for sure, but we have to keep moving on. There is no other way, because without impediments, we cannot really take shelter of Krishna. If everything goes on very nicely in our life, how I can take shelter of Krishna? I cannot. So Krishna arranges such impediments so that we can take shelter of him nicely. So when a devotee is put into distress, he accepts this as God's mercy and offers him repeated obeisances with his body, mind, and intellect. Hrid Vag Vapurbir. See, Prabhupada is quoting Lord Brahma's prayers here. Hrid Vag Vapurbir. By body, mind, and intellect, we have to offer prayers to Krishna. Krishna, you have arranged this situation for me to get purified. This is just personally arranged by you for me to get purified. Thank you, Krishna. I know it is very difficult. I'm still conditioned, but I will still try to be chaste to whatever promises I've made. An intelligent person, therefore, should always be satisfied depending on the mercy of Krishna. It is not that I'm able to withstand this tough situation on my own strength. The strength is coming from Krishna. So we have to be thankful for Krishna. And and text 30, Atamatro Okay, text 30 is, now you have decided to undertake the mystic process of meditation under the instruction of your mother, just to achieve the mercy of the Lord. But in my opinion, such austerities are not possible for any ordinary man. It is very difficult to satisfy Krishna. Prabhupada writes very interesting points in the purport. Process of bhakti yoga is simultaneously very difficult and easy to perform. Hmm. And Prabhupada is writing, Srila Narad Muni is testing Dhruva Maharaj to see how determined he is to prosecute devotional service. This is the process of accepting a disciple. A guru will not accept disciple very easily. That is why there is usually few months to year or years, depending on the guru. Uh, he will see how determined the disciple is. Even when Srila Prabhupada was there, he was not accepting, even though there may be recommendations going from the temple, he will not accept disciples very easily. Because he knew, because he was a representative of Sri Narad Muni. He will really want to know whether the disciple is um, determined or not. And Prabhupada writes in the purport uh, that for a sincere person, devotional service is very easy. But one who is not determined and sincere, it becomes difficult, very difficult. And text 31, after trying this process for many births, Sri Narmuni is continuing. He's continuing to test Dhruva Maharaj. He's saying that many births and remaining unattached to material contamination, placing themselves continuously in meditation and trance, many and executing many austerities, many mystic yogis were unable to find the path of God realization. Lord Brahma says, right, in the 10th canto, when Krishna actually uh, performs the Brahma Vimohan Leela, Lord Brahma prays that we cannot understand you, Krishna, by severe austerities, by studying the Vedas. But if one can get a tiny, tinsy mercy of you, then we can understand you. And that's what Sri Narmuni is indirectly telling here. That so many yogis have passed and they have tried to understand Krishna by performing so much austerities, but they cannot understand. For this reason, my dear boy, you should not endeavor for this. It will not be successful. It is better you go home only. When you're grown up, by the mercy of Krishna, you will get a chance for the mystic performances. At that time, you may execute this function. And Prabhupada writes, generally in Varnashram system, firstly, the boy is trained in Brahmachari, then after 25 years, he becomes Grihastha, then he lives a Grihastha life, and then later husband and wife or husband alone takes Vanaprastha, and then one becomes sannyas, leaves everything and takes sannyas to completely dedicate themselves towards Krishna. Generally, people think that childhood is meant for enjoying life. Oh, this is what grandparents say. Why you're doing so much bhakti, bhakti, bhakti to kids? Let them enjoy. But what our shastras say. So, whenever we are in such circumstances, we have to see, are we taking shelter of the acharyas and the shastra, or are we taking shelter of mundane instructions given by people of this world? Hmm. People generally say childhood is meant for enjoying life. Let them play sport, play. And youth is meant for enjoying with company of young girls. And one becomes old. This is what we get instructions, right? Why you're taking bhakti so intensely now? It is not needed. At the time of death, when you become old, then you can execute bhakti. But Prabhupada writes, this conclusion is not for devotees who are actually serious. Prabhupada is writing, who are actually serious, we should just hear this. Prabhupada writes in one of the purports that outwardly we should, in fact, Srila Narmuni says this in the 7th canto, outwardly we should accept all these instructions, but inwardly we should be very serious. Inwardly we should be very serious. Because without being very determined to practice bhakti, life becomes very difficult. The great sage Narada is instructing Narad Muni just to test him. Actually, the direct order is that from any point of life, one should begin rendering devotional service. We read in Srimad Bhagavatam in the 9th canto, Katvanga Maharaj, when the demigods came and said, you have done so much service, what do you want to do? He immediately asked, how much time I have? They said, you have one moment. One moment in upper planetary system is a lot of years. But he said, I want to immediately practice bhakti to Krishna. And this is what Prabhupada said. Any stage of life, Whether we are a child, whether we are a teenager, whether we are a youngster or an adult or an old person, any stage of life, one can practice bhakti. But it is a duty of Guru to test the disciple to see how seriously he desires to execute bhakti. Then he may be initiated. Because when we really have the thirst of practicing bhakti, then we will really take shelter of Guru. Then we will really take shelter of Krishna. Because if something is given very easily for us, then oh, okay, I have accepted Guru. Oh, okay, I have to get up and chant in the morning. Oh, I have to study Srimad Bhagavatam every day. It becomes monotonous. But when something is given after long struggle, then we really understand the true meaning of it. Text 33. One should try to keep himself satisfied in any condition of life, whether happiness or distress. And Prabhupada writes in the purport, when we enjoy life in so-called material happiness, it is to be understood that we are diminishing the results of action of our pious activities. So when somebody is getting good things in their life, it means that our pious activities are getting reduced. And when we are put into suffering, it means that we are diminishing the resulting actions of our impious actions. Our sinful activities of our past are getting diminished when we are put into suffering in life. So whenever devotees undergo suffering, we should think that, oh, why this is happening to me? Srila Prabhupada is writing here that when devotees undergo suffering, it is because our past sinful activities are getting nullified. So something good is happening actually, but we are not able to see it. But we can see through the eyes of the acharyas. So instead of being attached to circumstantial happiness and distress resulting from pious or impious activities, if we want to get out of the clutches of these nations, then whatever position we are put by the will of Krishna, we should accept. Thus, if we simply surrender unto Krishna, we shall get out of the clutches of this material existence. So whatever may be the situation, we can simply take shelter of Krishna. And in this age, anytime, anywhere, whether we are in office, whether we are driving a car, whatever it may be, any time, by the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, we can chant Hare Krishna. How long it's going to take chant Hare Krishna? If something miserable is coming, immediately close your eyes and chant Hare Krishna. Hmm? That's taking shelter of Krishna. We don't have to do such lofty things, right? Simply taking shelter of Krishna is chanting the holy names. And text 34, this is for all of us to practice or endeavor in our life to practice this in our life. And Sri Narad Muni is giving an instruction to Dhruv Maharaj that when he meets a person who's more qualified than himself, he should be very pleased. And when he meets someone less qualified, he should be compassionate towards him. And when he meets someone who's equal to himself, he should make friendship with him. In this way, you will never be affected by the threefold miseries of this material world. So, how to remain happy? So, Narad Muni mentioned, Sri Narad Muni mentioned that you should not take happiness and distress too seriously in this world. But he's also giving a solution how to remain happy. And how to remain happy, Prabhupada writes, is when we find someone more qualified than ourselves, we generally become envious of that person. And when we find someone less qualified, we deride him. And when we find someone equal, we become proud of our activities. This is what generally happens, right? Even within devotee circles. When someone is making very express progress in bhakti, they may be small, they may be very young also to us. We become envious of them, which is not good. Prabhupada's writing, it is not a good attitude because we don't know what that devotee was in his or her own previous life. They might have been very exalted devotees in their previous life. We see in the temple so many youngsters who knows who they were in their previous life. Who knows how much bhakti they've done more bhakti than myself. Uh, They may be very advanced, but we don't know. These are the causes of material tribulations because we see, oh, this person is doing so much. Now, why I am not doing so much? I should be more intense. Of course, we should take inspiration, but we should not become envious. That's what Srila Prabhupada is writing. And Prabhupada writes, instead of being envious of a more qualified man, one should be jolly to receive him. You see in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, I will stop with the purport here. And I wanted to actually read this chapter, but I don't know we'll have enough time. Maybe last 5-10 minutes we'll spend in this. Is everybody able to see the screen? Hopefully. So here in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, there is a chapter where King Prataprudra, he's so determined to get the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Exactly like Dhruva Maharaj here, where Dhruva Maharaj wanted to get the darshan of Lord Vishnu. And King Prataprudra was such a devotee. He was not, here we see Dhruva Maharaj was wanting to meet Lord Vishnu for getting material desires, to become a greater king than his father. But here King Prataprudra was already a very pure devotee. But Mahaprabhu didn't want to give him darshan. Why? Because Mahaprabhu was a sannyasi of the renounced order. And when Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya goes and requests Mahaprabhu, can you please come and meet King Prataprudra? And Mahaprabhu replies, my dear Sarvabhauma, why are you requesting me such an undesirable thing? I am in renounced order and it is dangerous for me to meet a king as to meet a woman. To meet either would be like drinking poison. Mahaprabhu is instructing indirectly that for a person who's in the renounced order, to meet a person who's all day doing sense gratification and who to meet the person of the opposite sex is to drink poison willingly. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is instructing. And Mahaprabhu says, although it is correct that king is a great devotee, he still is considered to be a venomous snake. Because he is involved in bodily activities every day. And he sings Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, if you again bring this matter to me, I will not, I will just leave this place. I will not even come back to Jagannath Puri. Mahaprabhu is very strict, my dear friends. And then Srila Ramananda Rai also comes and petitions Mahaprabhu. He is saying, I duly inform King Prataprudra for your order for me to retire from service. By your grace, the king was pleased to relieve me from material activities. I am not willing to engage in political activities. I said, I desire only to stay at your lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Give me permission. Srila Ramananda Rai is saying to King Prataprudra to give permission so that I can be with Mahaprabhu only. I don't want to be a minister in South India. When I submitted this proposal, the king immediately became very pleased upon hearing your name. Indeed, he instantly rose from his throne and embraced me. This is what Srila Prabhupada is writing in the purport today we read, that King Prataprudra knew that Srila Ramananda Rai was such an exalted devotee of Mahaprabhu. He didn't think, oh, he is a Grihastha. He just came and embraced him. This is what Prabhupada is writing here. He became jolly to see an advanced devotee. He didn't think, oh, I'm a king, he's a Grihastha, how he can be a advanced devotee? No. Pure devotees don't see like this. Even sannyasis, if they see a Grihastha devotee who's very advanced, I have seen personally with my eyes a sannyasi bowing down to a Grihastha devotee. How is that possible? Because true devotees really know. Once Premnam Prabhuji, I really look up to him. He was saying only pure devotees can actually know who is a pure devotee. Nobody else. It is actually true. My dear Lord, as soon as the king heard your holy name, he was immediately overwhelmed with great ecstatic love. Catching my hand, he displayed all symptoms of love. As soon as he heard my petition, he immediately granted me a pension without reductions. So King Prataprudra actually, as soon as he knew that Sri Ramananda Rai was such a exalted devotee and he was very intimately related to Mahaprabhu, he not only gave him pension and so much money, he said, you can go and be with Mahaprabhu how long ever you want. Forget about your service in the government. This is what is being non-envious. To feel happy for a devotee that he or she has to progress is non-enviousness. And this is what we need to strive for. I am not there yet, but we have to strive for by following the footsteps of these great souls, like Maharaj Prataprudra. Right? He is completely non-envious. The king then said, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna, the son of Nanda Maharaj. He is very merciful. And I hope that in future birth he will allow me an interview. My lord, he is telling to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, I don't think there is even a fraction of, this is Sri Ramananda Rai saying, I don't think there is even a fraction of Maharaj Pratap Rudra's loving ecstasy in me. See how Ramananda Rai is telling. He is saying, I don't have even a tinge of love that Maharaj Pratap Rudra has. Ramananda Rai is an exalted devotee. And he is saying, the king has so much love for you, I don't even have a tinge of love. He is not boasting, I am such an exalted devotee. Ramananda is showing that how devotees love each other by seeing each other's progress. This is what we need to cultivate, my friends. This is what we need to be at, or at least aspire for us, for ourselves in bhakti. We can do so many services, but we have to come to this point of loving each other as devotees. Because the king has shown so much love for you, Lord Krishna will certainly accept him. Mahaprabhu is telling here that because Maharaj Pratap Rudra has pleased Ramananda Rai, who's such a dear devotee of Mahaprabhu, Mahaprabhu is telling that he will surely get the mercy of Krishna, which is exactly what we are reading in Srimad Bhagavatam here. That Dhruva Maharaj wants to please Krishna. He is trying to search out for Krishna, but Krishna sends his representative. Exactly here, the same thing. Srila Ramananda Rai comes. And what does King Pratap Rudra does? He pleases him. And because of this, Mahaprabhu is telling that Krishna will certainly accept him. We don't know when, but Krishna will accept him. And this is the hope we have in bhakti. And here it is mentioned, those who are my direct devotees are not actually my devotees. But those who are my devotees of my servant are factually my devotees. Lord Krishna is telling to Arjuna. Series of verses are being quoted. It's such a big chapter, actually. But in this chapter, we will find, I am stopping here because of lack of time. But in this chapter, we will see that how King Pratap Rudra actually eventually gets the mercy of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu because he pleased his dear devotees of Sri Ramananda Rai and his spiritual master Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because to him only he goes and petitions. If I don't get the darshan of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, what is the use of my kingdom and what is the use of my all the facilities I have? He was so determined. Even Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya was astonished. Krishnaraj Kaviraj Goswami writes that he was so astonished to see such determination in King Pratap Rudra that he couldn't bear getting darshan of Mahaprabhu. And at the same time, when he saw a devotee who was already getting the mercy of Mahaprabhu, he was joyful, just like how Prabhupada is writing here. And let us meditate on this verse and this purport of Srila Prabhupada. Because this is what, because I heard once this from a very advanced Vaishnava. He said, how to judge who is a pure devotee? One who is non-envious. First symptom of somebody becoming a pure devotee is one who is non-envious. We can see within our congregation, Prabhuji will not accept, but it is our duty. His Grace Sundarandas Prabhuji, I have never seen anybody open up a YouTube channel and make other devotees speak Srimad Bhagavatam and upload their videos on YouTube channel. Clear sign of non-enviousness. Clear sign. Because usually when we open a YouTube channel or somebody opens a YouTube channel, we want to glorify ourselves, isn't it? But we see Sundarandas Prabhuji here simply wanting others to progress in bhakti. Pure non-enviousness. We can learn a lot from devotees around us. What to speak of such exalted devotees in our literatures and our acharyas. I'll stop here. I'm sincerely thanking Sundarandas Prabhuji for giving this opportunity to study Srimad Bhagavatam and inspiring so many devotees, and he will continue to inspire so many devotees. Hare Krishna. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च
सिन्धुभ्यैव च
पतितानां
पतितानां
पावनेभ्यो
पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः।
हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you so
अनंत
much,
कोटि
Vamshidhara
वैष्णव वृंद
Prabhuji.
की जय। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Thank you so much for very, very beautiful class, Prabhuji. It was very inspiring. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank you
Prabhu.
to all devotees
हरे
who are
कृष्ण।
joining our Hare
Thank you.
Krishna.